All right. Thank you everyone for watching the show. This is I Quit My Band. Sorry, I'm fucked up right now.
I'm fucked up
I'm
right
tired as hell, dude. The studio has been changed.
Mangled.
Yeah, you can't see it, but there used to be mirrors all over the wall. And
Now it
they're
truly
not.
feels like we're speaking into the void. At least before
Yes.
there were mirrors and we could see ourselves.
Yeah, like my visual is probably what the last thing someone sees in like a snuff film. It's like it's a wood paneled wall and
with
just,
like black shit in clumps.
It
just
really
all
feels
over
like
it.
nobody's listening now.
and then
Yeah.
just like a lone camcorder looking at
Tripod.
me.
I'll
Like,
take a picture.
Have you ever seen Barbarian?
Let's take a picture.
Yeah, this looks like the set of Barbarian, the
like,
house.
like when she goes into that room
Yeah.
the first time, and it's just like a camcorder pointing
Or
at a
that,
bed.
or
That's
that
what
movie
this-
Vacancy with Luke Wilson
I'm gonna
and
share this
Kate
picture.
Beckinsale.
Of course, you would have the one from 08.
You know the one from 08?
Yeah, dude.
They make snuff films in that hotel. That's what
Yeah.
this room looks like. It's a lot sadder.
It's way sad.
Yeah, I had to do some manual labor yesterday, and it sucked. And I'm
You must
tired.
have been glued to HBO for like 5 years.
Dude, what do you
Yeah.
think I was doing living with my
there's-
parents?
there's
Just
not-
taking in shitty movies just every day.
There's not one that's gotten past the filter.
I've
yet.
seen them all, dude. That was my era. That was my golden era. That's the films I got into. Yeah. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and go watch on Spotify. Go watch or listen on Spotify, and then go subscribe to our Patreon, where we're posting a lot more stuff there. The full track review episodes are on there now. Our latest one, Geezer Fever, is on there.
It's a banger, I think.
Yeah, it is a banger. We got some clips from it, some shorter clips from it that are going to be on YouTube as well. So go check those out.
Listen to some old guy bands.
Yeah, we talk about Drake
Purple.
and Kendrick, and then we talk about Deep Purple and Boys Are Called and Motley Crue.
It's really something for everybody.
There's you won't get a show that's going to touch on both of those subjects.
Hardy.
Hardy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go check that out on Patreon. But today we're going to be doing another album review that's near and dear to my heart,
Yep.
and not so much Evan and JJ. So I'm excited where this is going to go. We're talking about the new Kings of Leon album that just came out called "Can We Please Have Fun." So yeah, Kings of Leon. I've said on the show
Jesus
countless
Christ,
times.
That photo is so dark. He
It's-
just sent
it's-
the photo.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see it? Did you
No,
send it?
we'll post it like over
Yeah.
top of when I edit the photo.
Yeah, we'll
of
post
what,
some bonus
what
content.
we're fucking looking at.
It that looks terrifying.
Truly.
That is. I'm posting that on
It's
our
so
account today.
That's like 8mm fucking Nick Cage shit, dude.
It's like Saw. It's like
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
you to record a podcast.
I thought it would be fun.
Listen
I
to the
thought it would
Kings
be-
of
I thought it
Leon
would
album.
make it feel like we're in a ski lodge, but
No,
it does not.
Well, what we're looking at is so sad.
It's very sad.
Ugh.
Once we get the workout equipment back in here, which
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
that might be a while. But yeah, we're talking about the new Kings of Leon album. Can we please have fun?
Which, can we just talk about the title for a sec?
Yeah, we can talk about the title.
My initial reaction, like I think I've said this before because we reviewed a track from this on
Yeah.
a tracks episode.
Mustang.
It is so Jeb Bush.
It's-
Please
yeah,
clap.
yes.
Like please.
I'll
That's
give
how
you
it
that.
comes off to me because like I feel like it may be from their end like a tongue in cheek thing like
I think. Can we have fun or what?
like
Guys
but
can't have fun
it's
anymore.
them saying that to themselves as they churn out like another fucking album.
Yeah, I think that's from what I've read. That's what it was. It was
Yeah.
like they, finally are gonna try to make something good, and they're like, "Can we please just have fun?"
I
Yeah,
like
you-
the conscious decision of like, okay,
Yeah.
those past
Yeah.
few, those were for everyone else.
Those are for
this
everyone
is
else.
for us. It's better now.
but it's still
Bad.
not good.
Yeah, hearing the album and like hear the album title, I mean, and then hearing Mustang, I thought it was gonna be a bit more of like a
Yeah.
Let's Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't quite get
Didn't
that.
quite get it. Yeah. Well,
What a comparison.
if you watch the show, I've said countless times on the show how much of a Kings of Leon fan I was. Like I remember seeing like the video for they had a song called "The Bucket" back in the day. I love that song. It's a great song. That album's called Aha Shake Heartbreak. That's their second record, and it's like a really great like raw indie rock record. with some fun songs on it. And then I went out and checked out their first record, which they were a totally different band for. They were like southern rock. They had like mustaches and long shaggy hair, and they dressed like they're from the 70s. And that album is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
That's Youth and Young Manhood.
Youth and Young Manhood. And
I like
then
that record a lot.
yeah, then their third record, Because of the Times, is also really good, but it's like more of like a radio rock record, like that would fit in with like U2. Like
Is that the one with the light bulb exploding?
Yes.
Okay.
That's when they started. That's when like their lead guitar player clearly like discovered what a reverb and a delay pedal was, and they're like, "This is gonna change everything."
Isn't that interesting? And like watching like the career path
Yeah.
of a guitar player,
Yeah.
and then everything just goes from like jigga jigga to
Yeah. It sucks so much. Like,
It's so awful.
It's just so overdone.
That's what Radiohead really
Yeah.
did to our society.
It's true. I mean, that album, Because of the Times, is great. As a Kings of Leon fan, that's also one of my favorites. The first three are great.
Arizona's a great
great song. Yeah, there's shit, I can't even remember the names of the songs, but like there's My Party on there. That's just like a cool rock song. Charmer's like pretty intense, but yeah, then they came out with Only by the Night in 2008, which is the You Somebody album.
Everything changed.
Everything changed. They got that taste.
Yeah.
Bag,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. Like I've
Sex
Kings
is
of
on
Leon,
Fire's on that
Sex
one,
on
too.
Fire. It was a bunch of hits off of that one. And it's funny too how like if you watch like interviews and stuff with them post Only by the Night, they are so aware of what like that album was, and what like it's almost like they knew they had to keep making shitty music to keep making money, and money, like they're pretty outspoken. It seems like money is way more important to them than making good music. Like I think they said it like several times in a documentary where they're like, You Somebody and Sex on Fire were like our least favorite songs on those records. But like, they became hits, and we knew we needed more hits. So like they just kept making
Now I'm the cherry pie guy.
Yeah, exactly. They just kept making like shittier songs to see if it would stick again.
Well, yeah, and I was having that thought. Like, listening to this record, I went back and like I was listening to like Molly's Chamber, and Tranny, and I was like, damn, this is so sick.
Good. Yeah.
But then I was like, you're like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you make this change? And then you think of them, cooking a can of beans over an open fire compared to living in a mansion.
Right.
And
exactly.
it makes total sense.
Yeah. I mean, if you tell, it's something I realize about Kings of Leon, like, since their beginning, like, you can kind of tell that they were trend chasers, and they didn't really have an identity, I don't think. Like,
yeah, because like the first album comes out around like the Avett Brothers, time.
Well, like it was like the Strokes. It was like during that time they were like a southern rock band, and they had something there. But then their second record it doesn't quite sound like, it's not southern rock. It's more like indie rock. Maybe more like in line with like the Kooks or something like that.
Oh.
And then Because of the Times, it sounds more like U2 and like Radiohead and Queens of the Stone Age ish. It's a little bit more intense. And then Only by the Night comes out, and they kind of found like, oh, okay, we have to make pop music now.
Yeah.
So I think that they were just trying to find a way to make money the entire time, whether that was consciously or subconsciously. But yeah, I have not really enjoyed any records post Only by the Night. There was Come Around Sundown, which is like really boring. The Mechanical Bull, they tried to like step it up again, and it was still boring. And then there was,
That's a tough run.
yeah, there was Walls.
Is that with the faces?
That's
the milk?
with the faces in the milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walls, which was like, all right, wow. Walls, dude. Fucking walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walls,
Fucking
dude.
walls.
Walls.
This is the wall they were talking
Yeah,
about.
a sad
On
glued
that
up
album.
wood panel.
Yeah, and then they did When You See Yourself and that was the NFT
That was the
record a
NFT.
couple years ago, which is like I don't think there is one decent song off of that
Dude,
record.
but bag getters, dude. I mean, 6 million they sold that thing for, and then just
I
I
know.
can listen to it on Spotify.
Yeah, just immediately. It was
Whatever
yeah.
asshole paid $6 million for it.
I don't think it was like.
Was that you? Did you do
It
that?
wasn't me.
All
I
right,
swear
you
to
didn't
God,
get in
dude.
it.
Hand to God,
Yeah,
it
he
wasn't
put
me.
his bid in for
Yeah.
$48.
I mean, I don't
Blowing
remember.
out the water.
I don't think there was like a time when that album came out where you couldn't listen to it on Spotify. It was on immediately. Like it was
That's
just
awesome.
like I remember like I checked it out like the next
I
morning.
mean, those baghounds saw a good fucking con, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're doing
We're
this.
doing
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
like, and I'm sure like other people in their orbit were like, explain it to me that makes sense. They're like, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Who
We
gives a
don't know
fuck?
yet, but we know we got to get it on the ground floor. Then it just fucking tanked. But yeah, this album, Can We Please Have Fun? It seemed like it was going to be a return to form with Mustang. That's like the hardest they've rocked since probably Shake Heartbreak. Like it sounds like a couple songs off of that. Specifically, there's a song called Raz off of that album, which is like not one of the best, but it sounds like that song. Then they came out with a single called Nothing to Do, which is kind of like a little bit harder. You know, it has like more of a poppy chorus, but the guitars kind of go hard. So I was excited for this record to kind of be the return to form that I've been looking forward to for so long. I don't really think it was.
Well,
but
let's get into
let's
it.
just get right into it. Let's not enough of the chitter chatter. It's I Quit My Band. Here's the first track called Ballerina Radio.
Hell yeah.
Why? Why do we call a song that?
It's funny you say that.
Why?
I was watching an interview with them last night where they're talking to like a guy, like a radio host, and he's asking them like, why is it called Ballerina Radio? And they do not know.
Why do you call the song Ballerina Radio?
Like he's trying to explain it, and then the bassist is like, well, maybe, like they're thinking about
They're
it live on the
theorizing.
air.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's
Real
literally
time.
he's like, maybe, you know, there's a ballerina, one of those like little wind-up boxes that's on top of the radio, or is it a radio station that's for ballerinas all the time? And then the singer just goes, I think maybe it's the latter.
Dude,
I have to
That's
show
so
you the
cool.
clip. They're like, I think maybe it's more of the latter, but I don't really know. Like they're just like,
dude, the follow-up
just made
family just like, what the fuck? Dude?
This is the best work you've ever done.
You know
best
this is
one
our
you've ever done.
108th song, right? They're not all gonna make.
they're
a whole
not
lot of
all
sense.
gonna make sense.
For this song, there's like a building tension in the
Yes.
song,
Yeah.
like with the bass line,
Yes.
and I'm waiting. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it
No,
doesn't
no
come in.
drums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still
and then
no.
you wait
Yeah.
and wait and wait, and it's not until like 2.5 minutes
Yeah.
that you get
The
like
drums
some
come in.
kind of release, and it just felt like too little, too late.
Yeah.
I
know.
felt the same way about it. It's like it had potential.
strung me along for many minutes.
Yeah, it had potential, and then when the drums finally do kick in, it's so like underwhelming.
Like they're washed out.
They're just
yeah.
fucking, not doing anything special at all. I think the bass sounds good on it.
Yeah. I do like
but
that I'm a masochist, I know.
yeah, like
I
the lyrics
that.
are very different for Kings of Leon on here. Like it seems
His
like
voice sounds good.
his voice does sound good.
He has a great voice.
He's got a great voice,
Reminds
really
me
unique.
of Tom's voice a little bit.
A little bit.
You always know a Kings of Leon song just by the voice. Like you always can just be like, here it is.
Like,
And
hit
then
a,
it like
hit a cymbal.
yeah. They also talked about doing that on that radio show. There's like, I guess the producer they worked with, who like I guess also worked with Harry Styles.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, convinced them to like just do something that was, like a build and not put drums in for the better half of the song. They were like, I think it's great. And I was like,
I don't know. Well, and then
the snoozer.
they do it 2 songs in a row. Like, do we have everything on this one?
Yeah, we got everything on this one.
Next
So
song.
go to the next one, Rainbow Ball.
Yeah.
They do basically the same thing on this.
Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the drums come in a
Slow
little
burn.
bit faster here. Like,
But it doesn't like pick up until like 2.5 minutes.
This song sounds like to me like something that could have been the soundtrack on the Napoleon Dynamite movie.
Yes, I actually liked this song.
Yeah,
I like
liked
this
it for
more.
that
I like
reason.
the strings playing off of the bass line.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have, like, that same consistent driving bass line. It's doing a little something
Yes.
different.
It does have that Napoleon Dynamite feel. That
It's
like
just that weird, like,
yeah.
thrift shop sounding
Yes.
synth. I don't know how to describe it.
I know
besides
exactly
that.
what you're saying.
All right.
I don't know why it's Napoleon Dynamite, but it has that like Wes Anderson.
Napoleon
Yeah, there
Dynamite just
wasn't-
like curated a sound of music that all fits together.
Yeah.
What's that,
Like Sears thrift shop
Yeah.
sounding stuff.
that, like, 2000s indie vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, where it was, like, kind of, like, hand-me-down,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
shitty,
Yeah.
but cool.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
There's like a weird vintagey, interesting quality about it, I guess. I don't know. I can't articulate it further than that.
No, I agree. I like this. I think the bass line again carries the song, just the way it sounds and that like little melody. The vocal melody I don't love, but I like whenever it picks up and he does that that little spoken word part. I can't remember what he says,
Yeah.
like the tough love or whatever thing. I mean, it shows they got a little something left in the tank, even though it's not that hard of a song.
Yeah, it does, like, but when it does pick up, I did feel like I wish it came a little sooner.
Yeah.
And like right here, it feels like it should
Yes.
be kicking a little
Yes.
ass. And
But there is a sign of life, I think, that is showing
Yeah.
a tad.
it's not. They don't feel like washed.
They don't. It doesn't feel
No.
that washed, but
Like-
it's not.
But it's not like the Black Keys sounded washed either. They're just like not, like they're actively not. Well, I don't know. I can't say they're not doing their fastball, but they don't know what their fastball is anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think like Kings of Leon songs like this versus the Black Keys, where I feel like the Black Keys it's easier for them to kind of fall into like a a whatever because it's just fucking
yeah.
okay blues riff.
Yeah.
We're done. They've never really been like a blues riff band, so they actually have to like write a song. So it feels like they're trying just a little bit harder, but maybe not to like rock,
How
Yeah.
old are these dudes? Are they in their 40s?
Probably in their 40s, maybe
Yeah.
older. Yeah, I don't know.
The Follow Wills?
The Follow Wills, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Follow
Keeping
Wills?
up with the Follow Wills. Should we
Imagine
move on?
that show. We made another
Yeah.
mediocre album!
Yeah. Yeah, it's
What are
three
we gonna
brothers.
do now?
If anyone doesn't know, Kings of Leon is three brothers, and their cousins, their first cousin.
All follow wills.
All Follow Wills, yeah.
Meet the Follow Wills.
Meet the Follow Wills. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Rainbow Ball. Here's Nowhere to Run, which I think was like maybe a single that came out like right before the album was gonna come out. What did you guys think of this one?
It's one of my favorites on the record.
Yeah, I think so too.
When this kicks in right here, like after this. This
Yeah.
reminds me of like later era Modest Mouse.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like
yeah.
something that would have been on either Good News or We Were Dead before the ship even sang.
Even that little guitar, that like, and
Yeah.
then the bass line as
They're
well.
like offbeat.
Yeah,
It's really approachable, nice
yeah.
indie rock stuff.
I was when I first heard it, I was kind of grossed out by like the sort of cheesiness of it. But the more I heard it, the more I just kept getting stuck in my head. The more I liked it. Like
Yeah.
I like this vocal melody a lot.
Me too.
Like I don't know, like it's like a very sad sounding song mixed in with like this cool, funky, dancey bass line for the chorus, and like those two vibes just kind of for some reason go together in a really
Yeah.
cool way.
Yeah, they're interesting. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely more lively than the first two songs.
Yeah.
Like something that I don't, even though I compared it to something, I don't know if I hear this kind of vibe a lot.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
chorus kind of sounds like not that it's like intentionally, but it sounds like something I've heard before.
Yeah, I
The
can see
vocal
that.
melody
Yeah.
there, or something.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, fucking the bassist Jared Followill, I feel like has been carrying this band up for years.
Really?
He definitely
Yes.
seems to be the one most inspired. like every song, I'm at least like that bass line.
The bass lines, all of their records, even on their boring records, there's always sick bass lines on them. Like
Yeah.
even like if you go to the Only by the Night the You Somebody record, there are sick bass lines. All like some of those deep cuts are sick
Kings of
because
Leon
of the
is
bass
a
lines.
bass player's band.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they had a documentary out where they kind of said, like, they were talking about, like, you know, starting the band and stuff and how they all listen to, like, gospel music. And then the bassist was the one that, like, told them about the Pixies. So, like, he is clearly the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, it's usually a cool bass line covered with like absolutely anonymous instrumentation all around.
Such a
Like-
funny way to
Yeah,
put
like
that.
Yeah.
like you know.
I
kind
mean-
Is
of
that a
character.
guitar?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
mean, someone has got to take away their reverb pedals.
Yeah.
Like, they're having too much fun
Yeah.
with those reverb
Yeah,
pedals.
cathedral setting.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it is so. It makes every song sound so washed out.
Yeah.
And like it, if you listen to the bass and the other guitar, they don't sound like it's just that guitar just taking up all the fucking
All the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, when you listen to Youth and Young Manhood, there's like that album is dry as a saltine
So dry.
cracker,
Same with the second one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fucking dry.
and it sounds sick.
Yeah, it's dry and so to the point where like it's mixed so weird that if you like take out one headphone or like you know have it on like mono or something, you cannot hear like other guitars and the drums. Like
That's
it's mixed
awesome.
really strange and just very dry.
It's like you listen to any Beatles album and you just hear like the drums and bass
Yes,
in one ear,
yes.
bud. This is the one we listened
Yeah,
to.
this is the first single, Mustang, which I still think is sick. I think even more, it's cooler in the context of the record as well.
100%.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the first time you like get your ass kicked a little bit.
Yes,
you
yeah.
know? And like
It reminds me of Franz Ferdinand though, a little too much with the.
Yeah, well, they were like, they kind of were, you know, billed with Franz Ferdinand
Yeah.
for most of their.
in that like first
Career.
wave of like
Yes.
like right before it became like indie landfill.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
where it was just like, oh, a band called The Whatever
Yeah.
that sounds like anything.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it may just be my taste, but this also feels like this vibe when they're rocking, driving bass. It also feels like when they are the most like they have an identity.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Like-
Like it made all the old feelings about Kings of Leon come like flooding back to me. I'm like, oh wow, like they could still write fucking kick-ass songs with like good choruses, but like there's nothing about this song that makes me think of their more recent records. It's all the first couple years that it reminds me
Just
of.
a classic dude
Yeah.
singing about a car driving around.
Yeah,
in the
it's
city.
the lyrics are kind of dumb.
What do you need more
Yeah,
than that?
It's like that's all you need. Dude.
Taken out of the Springsteen
Yeah.
lexicon, you know.
Yeah.
I got this goddamn car.
I got this
nowhere
car.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does feel like the more logical
Yeah.
progression of like Youth and Young Manhood than what we've gotten
Yeah.
for the past
Yeah.
like 20 years.
Yeah, they had a song on Because the Times called Camaro that sounds like
They have
sort
a
of
song
like
called
this.
Camaro.
Yeah, they whenever they're writing about cars, dude,
The Hemi,
they're in the
dude.
the
Xterra.
pocket. Yeah.
The
You
song's called
Yeah, the
Prius.
Honda Element, dude.
This song's called the Jeep Renegade. Why don't I have any gas? Ever?
I'm driving a Honda.
I'm driving a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not just that it rocks harder, but everything feels so much more purposeful in this song.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, like there's a lot of really nice sounding production on
Yeah.
the other songs, but then it'll just be like that synth is just there.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
just
really
there.
doing
Yeah.
anything. Everything in this song is like gives it propulsion,
Mm-hmm.
and it just feels so much more direct.
Yes, it makes you realize that they are pretty decent songwriters, and they can put, they still are capable of doing cool shit. The guitar riffs is so simple too, and same with the bass line. Like it's one note. It's just open and then one fucking note and you're done.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's move on. This is Actual Daydream, which is a funny title for a
It is.
song. For
Yeah,
some
it's not
reason.
one of them fake.
It's not a
daydreams.
fake daydream. It's an actual
An actual one.
Yeah.
No fucking around.
Yeah. This is where the album starts to get a little bit like snooze fest for me. Right here, right where this one
Central.
starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song almost has like a spaghetti western vibe.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
the spaghetti was from Olive Garden, you know, like not
Yeah.
quite
Not
up
quite,
to snuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
not
know?
Bravo.
No.
Yeah,
no.
if it was, if they pronounced it spaghetti. Yeah,
dude.
yeah. If they pronounced it with that fake Food Network
Yeah, just a
accent.
little
Oh, the
Yeah.
Giada De Laurentiis.
Spaghetti. Yeah, it's Giada De Laurentiis
Fucking-
spaghetti western. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sorry, I
you
was just
good?
gonna go on that for a second. Like
Go on
whenever,
Giada, baby.
Yeah, well, not well. Love Giada, but like it's like, hi, I'm here to do this, and we're gonna do cacio e pepe.
Yeah,
And,
it's
like,
so fake.
Like, what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was always more of a barefoot contestant.
Oh, dude, I was
yeah, Ina
always.
Garten.
Yeah, I loved Ina Garten.
She's
dude.
great. She's kind of like really like. This is gonna sound weird. She's like, I just pick up on like a horniness coming out of
Oh
her.
yeah, dude. She's seducing you the
She's
whole time
just
with her
like-
food.
I
She-
can't
yeah.
describe it.
Yeah, I think all of them do.
I'll
I'll say
Fieri,
that
big time, dude. He's horny as hell in that car.
Bobby Flay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, but when Ina's up there, she's like really sensually like
Oh,
putting
yeah.
food together and
I
like
love Ina.
making cheeky little slutty
Yeah.
remarks to the camera.
Slutty.
I could have never imagined that the
wanna
Kings
hear
of Leon review would go this
one.
off the
You want to
rails.
hear something funny though?
Sorry.
I used to work for my aunt who was a seamstress in high school.
Yeah,
And,
she
like-
could try her dresses on you.
Yeah, I would have to try all the dresses on to make sure they were good.
Hell yeah.
That's
no,
when
but
I got into
there
Kings
was
of Leon.
there was like, I mean, this is like pre-iPhone days, so like that's when I got into Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
When I started trying on dresses. I was like, you know what? My favorite band
Yeah.
is this band who sings "You Somebody." Yeah. What do you think, Auntie?
Go on.
Yeah, so when I worked in the seamstress shop with my aunt, like it was pre-iPhone days, so like I would sit there for 6 hours and just wait for customers to come in, but like I would just sit there and watch this little TV she had, and it was the only channel was the Food Network. And I would just watch all of those shows just back to back.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I would have favorites. Like whenever like the Pioneer Woman would come on, I'd be
Oh,
like,
love her.
this bitch, just fuck this. But I would
Nobody
just
likes
watch
her.
it. I would watch all of it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. I want Ina, dude.
Ina and Giada.
I want Ina. And I didn't like Giada, dude.
Ugh.
I wasn't a fan of Giada.
I'm not a big Alton Brown guy.
Okay.
The nerd.
There was
Yeah.
a lady that had like big. She was like the female Guy Fieri. She had big spiky blonde
Oh
hair.
shit! What the
yeah.
fuck is her name?
She had a raspy voice. I don't know.
Yeah, she was on
cool.
like Hell's Kitchen.
She was another
stuff.
horny
Yeah,
one.
she was horny. Anyway,
Actual daydream.
Yeah.
Why don't you
not
just
a
start
great
it from the
song.
beginning?
Actual snooze fest.
Yeah. Should we just move on?
Yeah, let's just move on.
All right.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah,
about
literally,
it.
I think 3 minutes of Barefoot Contessa sums
That's
up
a good enough
about
review.
what I
We could
thought
get
of
a
it.
clip out of that for some reason.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I quit
Here's
my band.
here's Split Screen, which was the third single. When this single came out, that's when I knew this album would not be what
Yeah.
I wanted it to be. I was like, almost had it. We almost had
We
it.
were
We
so
were so close. Yeah.
Yeah, like this song and other songs on this album make me think they want to do like an 80s thing.
Yeah.
But they're like not willing to fully pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Like they're
I don't
not
know if
willing
they-
to go like full
Like synth
Yeah.
pop.
Yeah, like retro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so there's all these 80s elements in this song,
Yes.
but like they still feel like, well, we're still Kings of Leon. We gotta have guitars.
Yeah, there's definitely someone in that band that's like they can't put down what they know. You know what I mean? I feel like they still approach albums and songwriting like a high school band would, that just like isn't really willing to change that much, other than like buying a new pedal
Yeah.
or like going into the studio and their producer's like, why don't we work with that synth? And there's like, what the hell is that thing?
I don't know how to play that.
Yeah.
Wow, it's new space age stuff, and they just play like 3 notes, and they're like, that's
Incredible.
Well, that's
is
the thing
different.
that nobody talks about with like synth rock and stuff is like people make songs and it's great, and I'm not shitting on it, but like as opposed to like, you know, where you're writing a guitar part, you're working with the guitar. With a synth, you just like plug, turn
Yeah.
the knob, and then ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
you
ding,
can just
ding,
make
ding,
it go
ding,
for the
ding,
whole
You know,
time.
that's all
Yeah.
it takes, which is great. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, there's some synth stuff on this record that's pretty cool
Yeah.
towards the end, but Yeah, this song is just so feels the most washed out of all of them.
Big time.
Yeah,
It's not a bad melody or anything. It's
I actually
just,
think that this could have been a banger.
could have been good.
Like
yeah.
the beat is so sparse.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
I don't know why the beat's not just like driving home. And
The
like,
drummer, if you've listened to the past couple Kings records, the drummer is he not showing up.
I was gonna say, are they paying this guy hourly? Because
They-
there's so many
he-
songs on this record
he
where I'm like,
is-
where are the drums?
He is not showing. Like there's like that Walls record. Like some of the drum beats don't even sound like they go with the song. Like it was just like he was just like just doing like the Phil Rudd, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, dude, he's showing up for his paycheck and going
Damn.
home.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was the point in the record. Like, I'd listened to it probably like 4 or 5 times, and every time that I hit this like stretch,
Yeah.
it was so hard
It's
to get.
bad.
Like yesterday, I was listening to Pusha T,
Yeah.
like, and then I was like, damn, we have to review that album. I better
Yeah.
listen to it again. And it was so hard to turn off Pusha
Yeah.
T to go back into split
Yeah.
screen world.
That Pusha T diss track on the Kings of Leon. dude.
That would've been on. You are hiding a follow will.
You are hiding a brother.
Yeah.
Let him be in the band.
Let that boy come
Let that
home.
boy come
The
home.
drummer don't care no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Your drummer don't even care, bitch.
Your best player is the bass player.
Turn off the reverb, bitch.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be? Pusha
sick,
T came
dude.
up and they had to make a post about how there has been a 5th follow will that they've been
There was a fifth follow.
Are
It's
you
like the
serious?
guy
there's-
in Iron Claw that they didn't
Yeah.
talk about.
yeah, it's kind of like
It was too sad that
Too
there was
sad.
a 5th follow will.
there is
in
when
Kings of Leon.
I was big into the fandom, dude. They had I think it's like their sound tech. That's like their cousin. I think his
sick.
name's Nacho Follow Will, and
Not your follow
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, dude.
Nacho Follow Will. Let that boy come home.
Well, that's like, it's like when they want to credit him on the album, he's like, I'm not Joe.
I'm not
Follow
Joe Follow Will.
Not
yeah.
this
my own
universe.
guy.
yeah.
Right,
Pusha T
Pusha?
calling
yeah.
him out for that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Meet the Follow Wills.
The
the Kendrick district.
Dude, everybody's going. That's what
Keeping
they
up
use.
with-
Dear Nacho, I'm sorry those boys are your cousins.
Dude, and then Drake comes out. It's like that's what brings everybody together.
Yeah.
Drake,
Yeah.
Kendrick, and Pusha T are
Yeah.
just like Kings of Leon suck.
Kendrick and Drake have found a middle ground with shitting on the Kings
Yeah.
of Leon.
I like
All
that you
artists.
called them kings because we very often reference Queens of the Stone Age as
Yeah,
queens.
dude,
so
I'm the it's the
Kings and
Kings and the
Queens.
Queens. That's
Yeah.
just the bands I like,
The
dude.
original Kings
The
of
king
Leon.
of
The
Queens.
original Kings
D.L.
of Leon.
Hughley,
Yeah.
Steve Harvey, Nathan Followill.
Cat Williams.
The original Kings of Leon. Bernie Mac.
Oh Lord, Steve done shot the baby.
Oh, I just thought of something so funny, but
yeah.
we'll take it offline.
All right.
Let's move on to the next song. Don't Stop the Bleeding.
Don't stop believing.
Um,
Don't stop the bleeding.
this is another song that I felt like could have been really cool, but it's just not, you know? Like, they do a little something different with the sound and the mixing, the way it's produced. Like, the drums have, like, this weird, like, MIDI trigger to them that sounds like an old radio. The vocals have, like, way too much of a gated reverb on them, and
The opening reminded me of "Live and Let Die," just the
yeah,
melody a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. It has that "Live and Let Die" melody.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
cool.
But yeah, I wanted to like this one more than I did, but it's more fun than like Split Screen or actual Daydream.
It is, but again, like it's a 3.5 minute long
Where's
song.
the juice?
Yeah,
And
there's
the
no
drums
juice.
come in at 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's like a half hour of
Yeah.
rock, a half like minute of rocking,
Yeah.
and then gone.
Yeah,
I wonder how
Like,
much.
why isn't this like?
it should be, but yeah,
I
mean,
wonder if you drew out a pie chart of all the songs on this album and how many minutes contain drums.
Yeah,
How
it would
close
pro-
to 50-50 it would be.
it would definitely be less.
You know?
With no. I
Maybe
mean,
that
more
was an
with no
intentional
drums.
choice for him because he's like, if I'm gonna tour on this, I
I'm
want to
gonna
sit
I'm gonna
around
take it fucking
easy,
take
just
it
4 on
easy.
the floor
Yeah.
all the time.
I like the way the bass sounds in this. I like the bass line again. It's just, yeah, it seems like way too, I don't know, futile of an effort, I guess.
Yeah, it just needs a little more. Like the back half of the album, like after this song,
give me some
I feel like it
juice.
gets like I'm like this is how the whole record should have sounded.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's get there now. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. This is the second single, "Nothing to Do." This is like one of their best songs in years. I feel like it's really different. I mean, it's fucking upbeat.
They're doing their thing.
Those guitars are distorted. His vocals sound great in this too.
This reminds me of how the vocals used to be mixed.
Yes,
like very
yes,
upfront,
very
not
upfront.
drenched in reverb.
They're
Yeah.
kind of just distorted a little bit.
Yeah, the guitars sound really raw too. You can tell they just did not give a fuck about redoing little mistakes. Like there's parts where you could tell he's like for that riff, he's like missing some of the notes later in the song.
Maybe they recorded it live and it was just like really good. And
It almost
energetic.
sounds like they could have,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And I like this lick too because like it could be a synth line,
it could be.
and
yeah.
in another song
Yeah.
it would be a synth
Yeah.
line. But
Yeah.
I like that it's the
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
This is definitely the most lively song on the record, even more than Mustang. Yeah, I just like how these guitars are fucking like this.
Yeah, they even
Yeah.
threw a little bit of a screech in there.
Yeah, the
you know?
screeching. Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah, this is very early Kings, like because of the Times era Kings. Yeah, it's really cool to hear them do this.
Yeah, it has like a chaotic, like it's almost dangerous.
Almost dangerous.
As dangerous
Yeah.
as the Kings of Leon can get. And
Yeah.
like the last three songs kind of reminded me of like a Jack Antonoff Taylor Swift song. The last three,
Yes. Yeah.
where it's just like there's something here,
Yeah.
like with like the sonics and it's real
Yeah.
spacey, but just like it feels unfinished. They feel
Yes.
like demos.
Yes.
Whereas like this feels like a song.
Yes, and in their minds, this probably felt like more of a demo to them.
Yeah.
Like with the way their brains are wired now, they're probably like, those raw demos type songs are gonna be rockers, and then but the real finished ones, like they probably put so much extra bullshit in those finished ones where they were like, yeah, we're gonna do the raw ones on this record too, something we haven't done in years,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's nothing to do. Let's move on.
M Television.
Television. What do you think M stands for?
Mid.
Mid television, man television,
Man television. It's a
Man
man
tele-
show.
the
Spike,
man show. Yeah,
Spike
Mansers.
TV.
Yeah. Early
Yeah.
Spike TV.
Yeah.
1,000 Ways to Die or whatever.
Man Television.
Mansers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Mansers?
I
It was
do.
the greatest.
What was
Yeah.
that?
That's where I learned. Oh, it's just like they just tell you a bunch of bullshit facts
Yeah.
that for some reason only men should know.
Oh.
Yeah, you can drink 25 beers.
Yeah. You
stupid.
can drink 25 beers up your ass without dying. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
remember the show Guy Code?
I
On
didn't watch
MTV?
that, but I
It was
remember
a little
like
after your guys'
yeah,
time, I
yeah.
think. But it was just
Yes,
like,
early Spike TV was just like, it's for guys.
it's for
only.
guys
yeah,
only.
we're gonna
Yeah.
show cops and fucking bar rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember on Mansers I learned that a buck, like a deer, a buck, is like the most dangerous animal to like come in contact with.
What?
And I told that to someone. I think it was Annie. I was just like, "Did you know that buck is like the most dangerous animal?" And she was like, "That can't be true." She's like, "Where did you learn that?" I was like,
You would see way more
Mansers.
buff deaths. Yeah.
A show that ran for 2 seasons in 2005.
"Mansers." I mean, that's
dude.
a manser.
I
But yeah, the
do
song.
like this song.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I mean, it's felt really simple and like too familiar. Something just happened. To my headphone.
I lost my headphones. Are you guys back?
My one
no.
ear is
Oh,
is
Jesus.
out.
Oh god.
Thanks, JJ.
Sorry.
Thanks for fucking that up, dude.
headphone was gone, dude.
There
Okay,
it
now
is.
I'm back. Yeah.
All right, we're good. Sorry.
But yeah, it felt really familiar at first. Like that riff is just so basic, but I think the reverby guitars kind of work here. I guess it sounds big. I didn't mind it.
No, I mean, what I am learning about Kings of Leon the more I listen to it, it's a journey with myself.
Yeah.
Is where they impress me the most is when they're able to do a lot with very little.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Living
Yeah.
the Youth and Young Manhood, where it's just like, oh, this is just a rock band with a great singer,
Yeah.
and they can write good pop songs.
Yeah.
It's when they decide to be like Radiohead that I'm
Yeah.
like the returns are diminished
Yes.
greatly
Yeah.
with like the
Yes.
amount of effort.
Yes.
So when I just hear like a simple song with a decent driving beat and like a good melody, I'm like, this is
impressive.
what the band should do.
Well, there's
Yeah,
there's
for
bands
sure.
that are able to make that type of vibe evocative, like the spaced out, washy, reverberant, whatever. Right? They're
Yeah.
able to move you through it somehow, and that's just not what Kings of Leon specializes in. They specialize in shit like this.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, I
then-
think this one is a tad overproduced.
a
like,
little bit,
yeah.
like
a little
the synth
bit.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But at least the drum, like I like the break beat the
Yeah.
drums doing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not a bad song
No, it's fine.
whatsoever. Let's move on. This is Hesitation Gen.
What do you think that is?
I don't know.
Hesitation Generation.
Generation.
Oh,
Yeah, is that?
yeah.
They should
Top
just
ten.
called it that.
Yeah,
That's so much
I kept
better.
waiting for them to say
Say it.
Hesitation Generation.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another song where it feels really raw, but the song is just a little bit weaker, I guess.
It ends stronger than it begins.
Yeah.
Like it picks up a bit.
It picks up a bit, but the mixing is a little bit off. Like he sounds really
Something kind of weird about
he
it.
sounds really buried, and the guitars sound like almost just way too on top of each other to like be different from each other, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's another one where I was like, I can't tell if like when I go back when I listen to the record first, and then if I think about it, I'm like, well, there was that one too.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if I'm just doing that because there were so many mid ones.
Yeah.
On there.
I do like this melody.
Yeah, it's not. I like how he's like, you know, kind of the vocals are pretty rough. Not bad.
Yeah, he's giving
It's
like a
fine.
spirited performance.
He's giving a
Yes.
good performance. It's strong, but it could have, I don't know, maybe a little bit more of a change up with the way the guitars where it seems just so consistent. I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm trying to say.
They went for like a kind of a jangly thing
Yeah.
with this one. you
And
know?
it does feel
Yeah.
like if you're gonna be this consistent, the drum should be like banging.
Yeah,
You know, like,
he
yeah,
just
like an open hi hat type.
You got to watch some videos of him playing the drums now. He's just, I think he's like sitting in like an office chair too. Like
Oh,
he
he's
has like
got
a
one of
back,
those with
yeah,
a back on
yeah,
it.
he's like,
That's cool.
He has like one of those gamer chairs, it's like red and has like
Yeah.
speakers and shit. on it.
Does he
Like
wear
LEDs.
gloves?
he's just playing Grand Theft Auto. Like that's why the drums don't come
He
in.
has like Apple Vision
Yeah.
Pro, just like 100%, just like watching GTA
Netflix.
6 trailers.
Yeah. Then the part of the song, like there's something in his ear that's just like, and now
Wake up.
Yeah,
That would be cool, dude.
that would be awesome.
I'm gonna
that
sign
dude
up
has
for that.
the best life ever.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
if only I could be one of the follow-ups.
the drummer for the Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
Let's move on. This is Ease Me On. Ease Me On. Yeah.
yeah.
This
It's
is
like
like
a-
another like spaghetti western type.
Yeah.
Almost like a lounge act.
Like a lounge, yeah, and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sitting by that cabana bar
Yeah.
with your fucking
I'm in Reno. I just
Yeah.
lost like my 401k.
Yeah.
Playing like Keno, and I'm just smoking a fucking cigarette, watching this asshole on stage. Just be like, man, I had it all.
Yeah, I had it all and I
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let's move on to the last song called Scene. Yeah. Yeah, so this is them kind of doing like another 80s type of thing.
Pretty strong ending, all things considered.
Yeah, it's emotional. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't really fit in with like the raw thing that they were doing with like Mustang and nothing to do, but it has an emotional impact, which I think is pretty strong.
Yeah, I like it. It's like straightforward. The production is good, and yeah, there's like a lot of mid-tempo songs on the record that I wish maybe just felt like this more. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of mid-tempo stuff where the drums are either out to lunch or really sparse.
Gone. Yeah.
And this one just feels like a band playing a mid-tempo song
Yes.
as opposed to like a project file that you set to
Yeah.
118 and just started layering shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel really locked in here. It reminds me of like what they were trying to do on Walls, like sounding like almost like trying to do like The Cure or something like that. I don't know. They had that cover of Dancing on My Own by Robin that came out like years
Yeah.
ago. sort of like that, I guess.
Was that in the live lounge or whatever?
Yeah, the live lounge, the like a version or something. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's another way they made a name for themselves.
Oh, yeah,
Talking
sure.
about Robin. Yeah.
And now other people do use somebody. You know?
Yeah.
The Arctic
Young
Monkeys.
Blood and-
Right.
Young Blood Hawk covers You Somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And at the end, there's like this like very 80s sounding synth that comes
Yes.
in. It's like
Yeah,
ugly
that
kinda
deep
sound.
synth. Yeah, that was a really cool way to end the record.
They could have chosen a way more limper way to end the album than they did.
Yeah.
Because considering how some of these songs go, I could have
Yeah.
seen the album being like a major anticlimactic snooze of an ending.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's like bordering on the edge of being a snooze ending.
Yeah.
But I think just how good the melody is and how cool the bass line is, it
Yeah.
ends up being something really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
and,
it.
Vocalist and bass players showed up on this one.
They've been the ones that have been showing up the past couple records,
Yeah.
and no drummer,
Drums.
Nacho fell out.
Nacho.
Yeah, no Nacho. Drums was playing COD the whole time.
Yeah.
Nazi zombie maps.
Yeah.
dude.
Whatever.
He's
Yeah.
prestiging, dude. He's grinding.
prestiging.
They got Nacho to come in and do some little
Bat some cleanup.
do some nachoing
Yeah.
on the last song. Yeah.
We need that cheese.
We need cheese, dude. Well, let's move into the closing arguments. What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Evan, you want to go first?
Yeah. My expectations for this album were literally zero. If I didn't know you, I probably like Kings of Leon would not even be on my radar.
Wouldn't even be
literally.
listening to it, dude.
At all.
Now you're reviewing it for an hour and a half.
I've spent my weekend listening to this album, and now I'm sitting in your basement reviewing
I
all
felt
because I know you.
I felt so bad. Like
This is what
listening
we
to the
do
record,
for
I'm like, they're gonna hate this, but whatever, dude.
Yeah.
But that being said, I was not like. I was expecting much, much worse.
Yes.
They don't feel like a band that's completely washed. They don't feel like a band, even though they are like bag hunting, like extraordinaires. It doesn't feel like that. Like they're doing too much experimentation and weird shit for them to sound like they're just collecting a paycheck.
Yeah.
But also getting to know you, I've gone back and listened to their old shit, and I'm like, oh, there was once a cool band
Yes.
Yeah.
under all
Yes.
this reverb and production.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is hard to not hear that stuff and just be like, I prefer that sound, that approach
Yeah.
Yeah.
much more. There's a few songs where it feels like they are able to tap into that approach, and those are the best songs on the record, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it feels like they could probably take, like, you know, the resources that they have and the studio know-how that they have, take that approach and like make these really like strong rock songs that have pop elements to it that really pop. Yeah, there's just the middle of this album. If they were to trim out that, I think it would be a lot stronger of a record.
Yeah.
I think it starts off like, okay, we get a couple decent songs, snooze fest, a couple decent songs. That being said, I'm feeling this is the most like down the middle, whatever I could imagine.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm gonna give it a 5.2.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an ironclad. right there.
Ironclad. Yeah. I'll take it from there. Ev said pretty much my points too. I would not care about this if it wasn't for Nate, but we love Nate, so.
This feels like an intervention
Yeah, this is
as much of an
intervention.
album review.
Especially with this new wall.
Oh my God, it's so sad. I'll put the
Such an
picture up again.
intervention vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say this feels less phoned in than other big acts that have had previous success that are now attempting to make, you know, Pizza Hut commercial music.
Yeah. Sure.
AKA the Black Keys, you know, whatever. I wasn't outwardly offended or bored nearly as much as in other albums that we've reviewed, as much as I expected. So
Yeah.
backhanded compliment, I don't know. But also, there's still talented dudes in this band that like know how to write good songs and like put sticky melodies into stuff. So, you know, you got to give them that. But I would love for my ass to be kicked like once or twice.
Yeah.
You know, and it was with the two singles, the two like upbeat singles, but then the rest of it is just kind of like forgettable
Yeah.
to me. don't want to say write it off as like their best days are behind them, because who knows, but I don't know. It just seems like, they're just going through the motions and trying to find something that someone grabs a hold of, and then it's, the NBA for today theme at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that said, I feel very similar to Evan. I'm going to match him on a 5.2.
Wow.
Also
a match. That's the first match.
Yeah.
It is the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, being the big Kings of Leon fan and being with them, like, since, being a fan since the beginning almost, for me, this was an interesting listen because, like, I was really excited to hear them, like, oh, can we please have fun? Hearing Mustang, hearing Nothing to Do, and being like, they got it back. And then going into the record, and it's just sad for a band to, like, they clearly can still write rock songs and upbeat stuff that can, like, conjure something in people to make them, like, want to headbang like they used to. But you can tell that they, like, just so prefer to do something that is boring, and that is now their, like, lane. And, like, I can't tell if this album is sadder to listen to, like, in looking on at their legacy, being like, they put, at least 3 tracks in here where they're going back to their roots and being like, they can do it and it's there, but it's just like this little, like, this tiny little heartbeat that's just like, there's something there, but it's not quite there. And I can't tell if it's just like, man, it's never going to get better. Like, there's just, if this is the last straw where it's like, there's no hope. That was the closest we'll come to, and we got 3 tracks out of it. That being said, some of the other tracks I didn't hate, though. Like, I didn't hate Scene. I didn't hate Rainbow Ball.
Nothing to Do. Is that the one?
That was one of the singles.
That was one of the Rippers.
That was one of the Rippers.
That was the Ripper.
That was the Ripper. Yeah. Hesitation Gen and, like, M Television weren't bad either, but the other ones, like, pretty forgettable. And then, like, Scene and Rainbow Ball are, like, cut from a different cloth than Mustang and Nothing to Do. So, like, it's a little bit of a mixed bag as well of a record. But I didn't hate it. I think it's definitely, all things considered, probably their most fun to listen to in years. I think, it's the closest they've ever gotten to sounding like how they used to, which is more than I can ask for at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, okay, 1 song, and then 2 songs? 2 songs, that's a lot.
It's a smorgasbord.
That's a smorgasbord, yeah. So, my Kings of Leon, this itch has been scratched a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is great. But yeah, I went back and listened to it just out of enjoyment this weekend. I was like, yeah, I'll listen to Scene again. I'll listen to M Television again. But yeah, these songs are just not going to be, maybe aside from Scene, the other tracks that weren't singles are not going to be like memorable songs that are going to be like worked into their set list, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, Hesitation Gen. So but I do feel like Mustang and Nothing to Do will become like live favorites.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah, so it's there, and another thing, like, I don't, they are chasing the bag, but I think the bag was kind of built in, with You Somebody and Sex on Fire. They really don't have to do the boring shit anymore. They could, like, go back to doing raw stuff if they wanted to and get a bag, They have the capability. They're like, if you look on Spotify, they're like in the top 300 artists in the world, which is crazy.
That's wild.
It is really wild. So they have the capability to kind of make good rock songs and bring more raw guitar-oriented rock music back to the main fold. They're just not really going to do that.
They don't wanna.
They don't really wanna. They have found comfort in doing more boring shit, which has always. I mean, that's been the story for the past 6 records.
Respect.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'll let you say your score.
I was gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Wow.
I mean, that's
all right.
It was enjoyable for me. I liked it. It's more than I thought from Kings. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good effort for them. But yeah, I don't think going above a 7 is It doesn't deserve that
out
for
of
me.
the question.
Yeah,
lands
it's out of
us
the
like
question. Yeah, that lands us at
5.9.
a. Fuck, I fuck it up again. I just always do that.
I mental math it every time.
5.6.
5.6.
Yeah. I think that seems right.
Yeah.
Down the
that
middle,
seems right.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's just a,
That
I'm
is
gonna
a-
call we call that a down the middle. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
that is a
Yeah.
down the middle.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, like, they show that they can do it, but they don't want to.
They don't want
and
to.
I don't know what they hear that
Yeah.
they're like, this is the shit.
There
Yeah.
was an interview I saw years ago with them talking about Only by the Night. It was probably when like Walls came out, where they were talking about how like they were just kind of, you know, they didn't have an identity with their first 3 records, and then they found it on, well, not their first 2 records, and then they found it on Because of the Times, and then like, because Because of the Times, you know, it's a good record, but it is like the first instance of them becoming like reverbed out and washed out and boring in a little bit. And they were talking about how like they, you know, they've matured so much since those 2 records, and they didn't know what they were doing, and now this is their new sound. And hearing that, it was just always like, you got it wrong, dude. You got the whole thing backwards. You know?
Price is wrong,
Yeah,
Bob.
exactly.
Yeah,
So-
it is like, I think that can be a mentality though. Like,
Yes.
when you make something when you're young, and
Yeah.
you're like, I didn't even know what this compressor was. And
Yeah.
it's like, that doesn't matter.
Doesn't
what
mean
that
anything.
compressor
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
What you
like,
made was cool.
your
Yeah, it
new
came from the
knowledge
fucking
is stupid. Yeah,
Ignorance.
Yeah.
Sometimes your ignorance is better
It's
than
beautiful.
knowledge.
100%. Yeah.
'Cause it's more real. It's
For
more
sure.
like who you
Yes, they're so tapped into what people like. You know, every interview is just always like. But this, I guess they didn't work with a producer on this one, and I was the first
No
one.
Swedish producers.
are. No,
What were they-
just nachos.
Just not. Sorry, they worked with a producer, but they didn't have a record label. So they were like saying how like we could do whatever we want, not care about what other people thought. So there is an element with their past couple records where it was like they really cared about how it was gonna, you know, affect sales and be on the
Yeah.
radio. So you could tell
There's a
that
boardroom meeting
Yeah.
talking about, you know,
Yeah.
synchronization with like
Oh my
synergy.
God.
Yeah. So that it is sad, but you know, it feels like they let loose a little bit here, which is like, if I, you know, this is a 5.2 or 5.3, I think we gave it.
No, I
and-
think it was a 5.6.
5.6. I did. Me and
yes,
Ed did
5.6. Sorry,
5.6.
5.6, and the other ones I would probably, since after Only by the Night, I'd probably give all of those like a strong 4.
Yeah.
You know, to a 3.5. So like it is stepped up quite a bit. It's just you need a little bit more ass kicking.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just
you know?
once.
Just once.
For the
Just
boys.
try. Just for the boys. I'm here.
There he is.
This fan base still
Not the
exists.
boys.
I stuck through
I
faces.
stuck-
For Christ's sake. Or walls.
Walls. I
Walls.
was here
Faces.
through walls.
Yeah. Not the boys. Do it for the boy.
Do it for the boy. Just me, dude. Just
There he
once. Just once. Like
Just
in
one
3
time.
years, just give me a fucking sick record. You can do it. You have it in you. But that's going to be the show. That's the review. That's Kings of Leon with Can We Please Have Fun?
And the answer was no.
The answer was no. We didn't
Can't.
really have fun.
No.
We had a little bit of fun.
We had a 5.6
We
out
had
of 10 fun.
Amount of fun.
We had a
it was a
whatever amount
half
of fun.
Yeah. We had a strong half amount of
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Tell us what you thought of the record in the comments. Tell if you liked it more than us. If it scratched that itch, that KOL itch for you. If you're a KOL head like me.
Welcome to the podcast, all of the KOL
Yeah,
heads.
yeah, thanks for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe on Patreon. So go and follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and watch on Spotify. And I think that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I think I hit them all.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, looking at this wall, dude. It's
It's
just
just-
there's
Maybe we
less
just need to
for
put
me.
like a smiley face
Yeah.
sticker
Yeah.
above
Maybe we
it.
should just put a bunch of mirrors up.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
That would be
better,
perfect.
right? That would be perfect.
I want to get like one of those like motivation posters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you can
like
do
just
it.
an eagle flying and it just says like
And there's not even
success.
yeah. It's not even on like a
450
frame.
subs.
It's just
Success.
taped to the wall.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Or like a sign that just is like, it's been 0 days since Nate's fucked up the plugs.
Since Nate's computer fucked up.
Yeah, the computer fucked up during this episode. So if you noticed that,
Seamless.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
we got it, dude.
Yeah.
We had an emergency cigarette.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.